Basshole Studios in Hollywood, California.
Yo, what time is it?
You're listening to I'm a Basshole with Doug Bass. We've all been one.
He's an asshole.
So let's laugh about it. Now, here's your host, Doug Bass.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to I'm a Basshole. I'm Doug Bass, your host, as always. Welcome to the show. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Basshole Podcast or Basshole Show. My IG handle is Doug Bass Comedy. You can follow me there as well. Make sure you go to the YouTube page because that's where the full video experience is, where you can watch it all in action, you know, visually. Because that's what people want now. They want like a visual medium to go along with their audio, which makes sense to me, you know. Follow us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, download it, review us, rate us. All that stuff helps. So we appreciate you checking it out and supporting us. We got a show today. I don't know my guest at all. But she seems very pleasant. Her name is Mimi Landru. Am I pronouncing that correctly? All right, cool. Mimi Landru. She is a comedian. She's from Alabama, and that's all I know, really. So I'm going to introduce her, and we're just going to get to it. Mimi, welcome to I'm a Basshole. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No problem. Thanks for doing it. Yeah, so I don't know you at all. I mean, I think we may have been, I don't even know if we were following each other on Instagram or what, but you know, I think the comedy world is small here in LA.
It is.
So you kind of, I'm sure we have like a shitload of mutual friends and whatnot. But you reached out to me saying, hey, I've been an asshole. Can I come on the show?
Plenty of times.
Which is great because believe it or not, like doing a podcast, like I always need people to come on. And like,
Oh, yeah.
we have a lot of comics that come on, but like anyone, like even if you're listening, I just want people to know, like anyone could come on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have a lot of comedians. I'm a comedian, whatever. But like if you've been an asshole in your life, which probably is most of us at some point, like you are welcome to come on the show and submit a story or just hit me up, DM me, whatever. Because I need people to come on. It's hard to run a show like every week and do this, you know, so it's great. And especially Mimi came into the studio, so thank you for coming in.
Anyone can be an asshole, and everybody has one. So.
Yeah, exactly. That is true. Yeah.
There you go.
So you are you're from Alabama.
I am.
You are a comedian. How long have you been doing stand up now?
5 months.
5 months. Okay, so you're brand new.
Brand new.
That's awesome. See, I don't think I've had anyone on this show that is a brand new stand up comic. So
Yes.
that fills a checkbox. There you
Right.
go. So what made you want to go to stand up?
Well, ever since I moved to LA, I'd just be in conversations with random people just out or at bars, and maybe I'd say something and they'd be, oh, do you do stand up? And I'd say, no, I'm like working an office job, like corporate environment. Like, I don't know. I don't do that. And then I just kept hearing it and hearing it and hearing it.
Yeah.
And then this past January, I was at a friend's house, one of my good girlfriends who lives like in Bel Air.
Right.
And she's like, hey, I want you to come over. Before I went over there, she's like, there's somebody I want to introduce you to. And it was this very like high-end matchmaker she wanted me to meet. Right, because she wanted me to meet somebody.
All right.
And I'm talking to this woman, and she's really cool. She's really nice. And okay, she's a legit matchmaker. She's not like a Hollywood madam, okay? This is not like some Heidi Fly stuff happening. I've surpassed the age limit for that, okay? I don't think I qualified, you know, for human trafficking anymore.
Yeah, so you're not, you go right to a matchmaker. You don't mess with the apps or anything.
Right.
That shit.
Well, I mean, we've been there and done that. We're not on that anymore. But so I go to her, and we're talking in a conversation, and she says to me, you should be a stand-up comedian. I was like, yeah, I've heard that before.
Right.
3 days later, I go on a date, completely unrelated. It was with this guy I met on Hinge.
Okay.
In the middle of the date, he says to me, you should do stand-up comedy.
Wow. So people keep telling you that you should try stand-up comedy.
And then after that, he never wanted to go out with me again.
Right.
So
Now you're a comedian, and now he's scared of you.
I was just like, so I was like, you know what? If I'm obviously not going to make anybody come, I might as well try to make them laugh. So we're just going to see what happens.
Right.
So from there, I took a class at West Side Comedy. It was just like a 6-week joke writing course.
Cool.
I have a background in writing. I was a journalist for a while. So writing comes naturally to me. But, you know, I didn't really know how to formulate a joke or, you know, learn like
Yeah,
because there is a
class,
method to
a class
it.
helps for sure.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people like that want to try stand up. They're always like, I don't know about a class. You can't teach comedy, but like it definitely gets you writing, which is like
It does.
the hard part.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
and
you know, just sitting down and formulating jokes or stories or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. And I hadn't been creative since I moved to Los Angeles, which I know is strange. I mean, this is like the mecca.
How long have you lived here now?
I've lived here now for going on 5 years. I moved here
5
from New
years.
York.
Okay, from New York.
Yeah.
So Alabama to New York to LA.
No.
Okay, so there was
No.
another stop.
There's several stops.
All right, where'd you go?
Alabama to Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, Honolulu.
To Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Where's that? Okay.
It's in the middle of North Carolina in the freaking armpit.
Right.
Because that's where the U.S. Army could buy cheap land to build Fort Bragg.
Okay.
Have you heard of Fort Bragg?
I have not, no.
That's where and you call yourself an American.
Fort Bragg? Well, I mean, sometimes.
Fort Bragg is the home of U.S. Special Forces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Delta
did you
Force.
serve time? Did you not serve time, but did you like prison? Were you in the military?
Maybe I'll end up serving time after I tell you my asshole stories.
Okay,
I'm just
all
kidding. No, my ex-husband was actually in the military. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you were married.
Married.
You were married. All right. I was married too at
No
one point.
way.
Yeah, way. Yeah. I mean, welcome to LA. Everyone was divorced.
No, there's a lot of single people here that have never married.
I know that's true. Yeah. But if you do get married here, you probably will get divorced.
Oh, come on.
In LA. All right. So you were with your husband. He was in the military, and he traveled around
So
a
he
lot.
traveled,
That brought you to
yeah.
Honolulu. There's a base there, right?
Exactly. That brought me to Honolulu. And he was not an Alabama boy like most people think. He was from way out west, a place near Yellowstone.
Okay.
And so we were in Hawaii for a few years, and we were in North Carolina, and then we ended things.
All right.
And I ended up going to New York, and I was there for a little under
New York
a
City?
year. I worked in New York City.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked in New York City, but I lived on Long Island. And then from there, I moved here to LA.
Nice. How'd you like living? I'm from North Jersey originally, so
Okay.
New York is my home city.
Okay.
Going to. But yeah, New York's great. And what kind of work do you do? Like, what is your day job?
My day job, well, I'm currently a bartender.
Okay, you are.
Yeah.
I bartend too, like
No way.
2 days a week. Yeah.
Where do you bartend?
I bartend at the Pendry Hotel
Ooh,
up on
fancy.
Sunset. Yeah,
Okay.
across from
Ooh.
the Comedy Store. Yeah. So now everyone could come see me there. Don't ask me for free drinks.
No. Yeah, I
that's
bartend
cool.
down the street from you.
Oh, you
So
do?
I
Okay.
yeah,
All right. You can
there
tell me
go.
later. Where.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah, we'll keep that off the air.
Yeah, I'm a girl, so I'm
Yeah,
really
exactly. No, yeah, exactly. People will watch this and literally go
Like,
find
ooh,
you.
where's she at?
They'll be like, there she is. All right. No one will come find me. It's fine. Yeah. So bartending. Okay. So that's cool. So that kind of like, allows you to kind of pursue creative stuff still.
It does. It's
Yeah.
a little difficult considering bartending's at night and most comedy gigs,
Right.
shows and open mics are at
Yeah.
night. So they're a little bit.
That is tough
hard.
because it's
Yeah.
like I've been doing stand up now for probably like 6.5 years, I think. So yeah, it's I mean I have like 3 different jobs, so it's like that's like one of my part-time jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do have to have your nights free to kind of do the gigs and stuff like that. So you are finding it a little difficult, challenging to schedule your bartending plus do shows and mics and whatnot. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Getting used to all that.
I
yeah.
host a mic too once.
I saw that. That's you're actually doing that tonight. I don't know when this will air,
Probably.
but not tonight. It won't air. But Gold Rail Bar in Glendale.
Yeah, it's
That's great actually, because when I first started, I hosted a show in Glendale. It was called Gaucho's Comedy, and it was in Glendale, and it was at this like Brazilian steakhouse.
Oh,
And I
okay.
ran the place for like a year, and it was like a great way to like meet people and work your stuff and network and just have a home every week to go to when you first started out, So that's cool. I mean, Glendale must be the place to
Glendale's the
try the
place.
mics out.
Yeah.
That's cool. I got to check it out because I need to go see. I need to go do more mics. So that's a cool place to check it out.
And you get a free drink.
You get a free drink. See,
And it's free 5 minutes.
free 5 minutes. Glendale. That's great. Do you live over in Glendale?
No,
area?
I don't.
No. Okay. All right.
Central Hollywood.
Central
baby.
Hollywood. All right, yeah. Yeah, I was living over here, like not in this place, but a little further down. I would go to Glendale every week, and it was like, oh my god, this is such a drive sometimes. But it was worth it. It was worth it. Yeah, because like the place was. I met so many good comics coming in there that just wanted to do it. All right, so you got that going on, which is awesome, and then you're doing shows. I'm guessing.
I am doing shows.
Yeah. Yeah. When is where have you gone up?
I've gone up at, it's a popular thing for comedians to produce, local bar shows and that kind of thing. So I've done some bar shows here in LA. Been at the Hollywood Comedy Chateau, and Flappers so far. Those are the comedy clubs.
That's great because
new.
Those are the clubs that you should be starting at. I started at Flappers when I first started, and Comedy Chateau I hear is great for like newer comedians.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff
bring
like
they bring a good crowd.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's cool. Have you tried to do any of the open mics at like the big clubs like over here yet? Have you tried that?
Actually, yeah, I did do the open mic at the Improv back in June.
Okay.
It was the Bucket, and I got up.
Nice.
And
how'd you like it?
I liked it fine. I know that a lot of comedians talk about the room being really intimidating, and I understand that. But I was also a pageant girl,
Yeah.
so
you just gotta have fun with it.
sometimes 8-year-olds can be more vile than
yeah, no, of course.
25-year-old.
And it's a lot of like 25-year-old single guys hanging out there that are just they're just hating the world that they live in.
They do hate the world, don't they? Well.
But that's good. That's good. You got a good head on your shoulders, and you're going out there and doing it. Have you had any nightmare experiences yet, like in a show, like a bomb or like something that was like really awkward happen? Anything like that yet?
Honestly, no.
No. All right.
No, I haven't. I haven't had that yet.
That's good. I mean, it'll come at some point. But
I know. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
But the best advice I can give is just to have fun with it. Like when it goes bad, and it will at some point, like embrace it and have fun with it, and don't be scared, and just kind of just roll with it. And,
Or maybe I'm so delusional that I've already bombed every time, and I had just, my ego was like this big. I have no clue.
I'm sure you haven't, but yeah, I mean, no, like if you start to do like road gigs and stuff like that, like outside of town and some dingy ass bars that are not LA bars, there's some interesting crowds that show
I had
up.
a show in Riverside.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I was fine. I just hated on LA.
Yeah. Yeah, see, you got to know your crowd.
I faked it a little bit. I got to read the room.
You got to know your crowd. You got to know your audience. Yeah.
know?
So that's cool though. Yeah, I'm glad that you are. You're putting yourself out there. What is like your material? Like, what kind of like stuff do you talk about? Is it like relationship stuff or?
It's some of that stuff. I talk a lot about being from the South and how people can judge me. When I first started talking to them.
Right.
Like they'll automatically, make an assumption about me, like, oh, you're from Alabama, you must be a racist. Well, if I was a racist, like I would have moved to Orange County, like I'd be doing that. I'd be trying to find open mics in Newport Beach, like no, and stuff like that. I don't really. My hometown is an interesting place, and obviously, like your childhood experiences, most of the time they shape like what kind of material comedians do.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But I try not to give it a lot of flack.
Do you go back to Alabama often? You have family there still?
I do have family there, but honestly, like I don't go back that often.
No,
I don't go back enough as I should. Yeah. I want my family to come out here.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm like, Dad, when are you gonna?
What do they think of you moving to LA? Are they like skeptical? Are they like, oh, I don't know about that LA? Like, are they excited? Do they want to come visit? Like that kind of thing. Because I know a lot of people, like even from where I'm from, like a lot of people are like stuck in their own way and they don't want to leave their little bubble. Like I don't have any friends. A lot of my friends from New Jersey have not visited. I've lived here almost 20 years now, and like a lot of people have not visited me.
My cousin, he calls me the big city cousin. When's the big city cousin gonna come back to Clanton? That's the town I'm from, Clanton. It's with a C and not a K. All right.
Shout out to Clanton. Maybe we'll get
shout out to Clanton.
We'll get some subscribers from there. Yeah.
Well, she gonna talk about us? What she gonna say? No,
I'll let you know if any Clanton pops up in the stats.
We're known for our peaches, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
peaches. All right, Alabama peach.
It's a big peach crop. There's a peach water tower that looks like a big butt in the sky.
I don't think I've been to Alabama.
You've never been to Alabama? Why have you not been to Alabama?
I don't. That's a good question. I don't think I have. No, I haven't. I haven't been through. I've been to Arkansas, but not Alabama.
Okay, there's no comparison between the two.
No, I haven't been to Alabama yet. I need to go check it out. Yeah.
Alabama's the shit.
I'll put it on my list. Alabama Slammer. Isn't that a drink?
And you gotta go. Yes, it is. I bet you know about that from.
That's a little Southern Comfort, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, there's a bar in Tuscaloosa, Alabama called Galette's, and that's where. Yeah.
All right, shout out to Galette's.
That's the maker of that drink, and so now at the Alabama bars here in LA on football games, they'll That's where I went to college, so
Okay.
that's why I know this stuff.
All right. This is good stuff to know. Yeah, Alabama. I'll put it on my list. maybe I'll set up a show there and we'll do that. Yeah,
Hey,
Alabama show.
there's a big comedy club
Yeah,
in Birmingham.
you gonna go back and do a show there in Alabama,
I
Birmingham?
should. Yeah. Maybe in about a year or two.
Yeah.
You know, get my feet wet a little bit.
Right. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
May have to change my material some.
Wait,
but,
maybe I have been to Alabama. I'm trying to think if I've been to Alabama. I may have done a show in Alabama. Isn't there a comedy club?
Stardome.
Stardome.
It's a big one. It's a good one.
Yes. Wait, there's another
Stardome,
one.
book me.
There's another one though. Is it one called Stir Crazy? No, what is it? I don't know what it's called. I have been to Alabama. Is Huntsville in Alabama? Yes.
Yes.
I have been to Alabama. I lied. I have.
That's
been
Rocket City. That's where NASA
there.
is.
I forgot that I was in Alabama.
This is why I came on the show today.
This is exactly what
remind
you really. Yeah, I need that. I need like reminders of like places I've been. Sometimes I was only there for like a day, I think.
Oh.
And like drove. Yeah, we drove from I think Nashville to Huntsville or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. So yeah, I did a show in Nashville and then I did a show in Alabama and Huntsville. But I didn't really see Alabama. Like I didn't see the city or anything. You know, I just saw the club and the roadside, and that was about it. So that's why I feel like I haven't really been. I haven't really experienced Alabama yet. You know.
Yeah, my family, they're cool with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm of an age where I'm not like, oh, what is my family going to think about
Right.
this? You know,
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like when you start like, you know, even when I do this podcast, I'm like, sometimes my family, friends, exes might listen to it. I'm just like, I don't know what people think. I don't know. Like they could be like, wow, you're really talking about that? Like, you know.
Yeah, that they may be up here wishing they could do what you do.
They might be. I don't know.
know.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's all about the courage, the confidence, and you obviously have it because you're doing stand up. So that's half the battle right there, is just getting out there and trying it. So good for you, I'd say. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, this show is I'm a Basshole. And guests come on and they talk about a time in their life or times that they were an asshole. It can be an isolated incident. It could be a chunk of time in your life. Maybe you're one right now and you're proud of it and you wear it with a badge. Any of those things. Where do you want to start? I know you said you might have like a couple like stories. So why don't we jump in and discover how Mimi was an asshole?
Well, I remember when I was 3 years old.
3? Okay.
I was 3, yeah. And I could read at that age, too.
So you have memories from when you're 3.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I could read. My first word I read was Coca-Cola.
All right.
I don't know if that means anything.
Coca-Cola.
I was mad at my mom one day, and she left the room. And I grew up in a renovated barn. So it was an original barn, then turned into a house, had a hardwood floors. Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah.
In the middle of Clanton. And I got mad at her. And I was potty trained at this time.
Right.
Pulled down my pants, shit on the floor, pulled my pants back up, walked away like nothing happened.
Just in the middle of the living room.
Just in the middle of the living room.
Right.
Would you say that was an asshole?
Yeah.
But I knew what I was doing because she told me no.
No, yeah. Well, I would say, look, I don't know anything about having kids. I have a niece and nephew, but do you have kids?
No.
No kids. I know like toddlers, I guess, can be assholes, like when it comes to the potty training or whatever. Like, I have heard stuff like that where it's like they just shat themselves or shat on the couch.
I wonder, though, if they know what they're doing.
I don't know.
I was very conscious
of
what I was doing.
You were literally like, she said no.
So I'm just going to shit on the floor.
Right,
Take that.
And then you just left it. Yeah,
I just left it.
Yeah. I guess there's like some kind of retaliation in a toddler. Like there's not much that they can do at that age. They don't have a power to do anything, but they do have the power to poop.
Yeah. Power to poop and the power to pee, baby.
So if that's like their weapon of revenge, if they could shit on a floor or the wall or whatever, then I guess they can do that. Yeah. I don't know. So now when your mom comes down and finds out that you shat on the floor, what is her reaction? Does she just freak out? Like, does she yell at you?
I was 3. I think I probably got like a little talking to.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you bring this up to your mom today, this story?
I have.
Yeah. And what does she say? You now as an adult.
She wants to forget.
She wants to forget
She wants to forget about it. You know?
Yeah. So you were literally shitting on the floor and your mom scolds you.
Right.
So does she like, was there, how did you get punished as a child?
I got yelled at a lot.
Just yelled at? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, like if you're shitting on the floor, it's like there should be some kind of like punishment. I would assume.
I was 3. I mean, it's not like
You're 3.
Now,
if you were doing it still
at
as like
16,
a
at
10
37, I'm like shitting on the
every
floor.
time you come home, you just shit on the floor.
There's
Yeah.
probably people that do that.
That would be a problem.
You know, people
though.
are into that.
That is true. That's a whole other thing.
I am
Yeah.
not. Thank you. Thank you. No way. No, haven't shit on the floor or on anyone since. Now,
That's good. That's
peeing is a different story. That's a different story.
good. Did you take a while to get potty trained?
No, I was ready to go. And I
Yeah.
had a song I would sing too.
You had a song, yeah.
Everybody has, I feel like parents have songs, you know, like they make
Right.
it like fun. I still remember the song.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the song? You can sing it?
Pee pee on the potty, pee pee on the potty. And it was just over and over
And that,
again.
and that would just make you
And
go,
I was just like,
yeah.
I have to go now. Now it's gonna go in the toilet.
Right. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. So I mean, yeah, that's definitely an asshole thing. So
Yeah.
so growing up I mean, that's an early one. I don't think I've ever had anyone say as a 3-year-old they had an asshole story. So that might be a new feature on the show.
3 years old,
Yeah.
literally an asshole story.
Literally an asshole
Literally.
story. Being an asshole and using their asshole. So all right, as you grow up, what's something else like maybe like in your, you know, I don't know, like 10-year-old or like teens or
10-year-old.
Were you a problem child growing up? Or
I
was
really
it more-
wasn't. I was
yeah.
so sheltered and
Yeah.
overprotected, like to an extreme amount,
Mhm.
that I didn't really act out when I was younger because there weren't enough opportunities to.
Right.
You know, maybe I'd talk back or be a smart ass or something like that. But as
Right,
far as
right.
really actually doing something, it wasn't until I remember I went on spring break my senior year with 3 of my girlfriends
Oh wow.
down to
okay.
Gulf Shores, Alabama,
Okay.
and which is a small beach town. And we were there and hanging out, and one of the big things to do was, it's still like a small, you know, southern town, is
Mhm.
you ride around town in cars and like, you know, pull over in a parking lot if you see a guy or girl you like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and
Honk at them.
yeah, you honk at them. Exactly. People still do that today. We're walking down the street. But so we were, you know, in this town, me and my 3 friends, we were all riding around, and we pulled over because there were some guys we wanted to talk to. And these guys said, well, we don't want to talk to, you know, your other 2 friends because, you know, they're fat.
Oh.
And granted, they were fat.
All right.
They were fat straight up.
But the fact
Great,
that
beautiful people. They just
the
like
fact
said
that
it.
they say that.
Yeah, it's just like, no, you're going to talk to everybody. I mean, we're 17. What's really going to happen here, you know?
Right.
And so I said, you know what? That really offended me. And it, you know, I felt for my friends. I was a good friend. So I looked at them, I said, all right, we're not going to talk to those guys, but I have an idea.
Mm.
So we go to the surf shop. Oh, God. You know, this is going to be very revealing. So we go to surf shop. I get a super soaker gun.
All right. Those are fun.
I put some water in it,
Mm.
but I also peed in it.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. And
Again with
so-
the bodily functions.
Again.
Look at this.
Again. And then, so we get in the car. I get in the back of the Jeep. My friend had a Jeep, and I in the back of it. And I was like, let's drive by him. And I just start spraying. I'm doing a drive-by.
Oh, so it's like diluted piss water.
Yeah. I was like, that's my piss, you asshole.
And you said that to
Oh.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did it? So you get them all soaked with your pee,
And then that was it.
and that
Never
was
saw
it.
them again. Don't know their names. Don't know what happened to them. If you're listening to this podcast, it was me.
When they got hit with the pee, were they?
What the fuck?
Did they know?
No, I told him. I was like,
yeah.
hey, this is, my piss, you asshole.
This is piss.
This is
Yeah,
pee-pee.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man! And how old are you at this age? This is
17.
17. Yeah. This is that is a pretty good thing to do. That seems like something like a 11-year-old would do, or 12-year-old.
Well, probably an 11-year-old boy, not
Yes.
a 17-year-old girl.
No, an 11-year-old boy. Like I'm picturing, like, remember those movies like Problem Child?
Yeah.
Like that. I'm literally picturing that kid, like Junior, the redheaded kid, like doing that in the movie.
It was me.
Yeah,
It was me.
That's pretty good though. I mean, like those guys definitely got a taste of, no pun intended, of sourness or whatever. I mean, I think that's a pretty good one, and also you stood up for your friends.
I think it's
which
always
is
about
great.
redemption, you know?
Yeah. You stood up for
Yeah.
your friends. Did your friends think you were crazy for doing this, or were they like, yeah, no, let's do it, fuck it?
I mean, they thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, they did, but they were down.
They were down.
They
for
were
it.
absolutely down because, I mean, I'm the one putting myself out there. It's
Right.
not their pee, it's my pee.
Right. And what are they going to really do besides? Like,
I'm not spraying it on them.
Yeah,
You know?
like,
Maybe
they-
they were scared I was like going to if I said no, but like, oh,
Yeah.
it's on you now.
It's like what are they going to do? They're going to catch up to you and yell at you. It's like it's like you guys are three young girls.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't
it's
know
like,
whatever happened to those guys. They're probably like have some drywall company in Alabama
oh,
or something.
yeah.
You know,
Isn't that interesting? Like you have like these memories and moments from like when you're a kid, like these people you meet, and
Yeah.
something weird like that happens, and you're like, man, I'll never forget those fuckers. And it's like, and it's like, where are they now? It's like if you can find them on Facebook or
Yeah.
something, like it's like
Yeah, I have no idea. Absolutely no
no
idea.
clue. Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
like
but I sprayed them with my, and I wonder if they still think about it. You know, or they like,
yeah. Do they still
thinking-
talk to each other and be like, oh my god, remember that time that girl
yeah.
fucking sprayed us with her
Yeah,
piss?
or, you know, if they're like changing their kids' diapers, you know, if it's like a little, don't like little boys, like
Yeah.
sometimes they'll pee on you, or I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
if you're like a
Like, I
little
wonder-
newborn, if they're
I
like, oh,
wonder
I remember
if
that
like
time.
every summer, like they have kids and their kids have super soakers, like they get triggered.
Yeah,
like,
maybe they have PTSD
That's
from
what
me.
I'm
Ooh, that's
saying.
power, baby.
you know, because it's
That
like
is
you never
power.
know like what someone else is like. Because like you have memories, you have moments.
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
You hear a song, you see something that reminds
Oh,
you of something.
yeah.
So it's like like something can trigger them. That's like
Mm-hmm.
that sets them off or like makes them laugh or whatever.
Dang, I've never thought about it like that.
Oh my god, that's so
I've
interesting.
really imprinted
you
maybe on
have.
some people.
You really have. Yeah. I mean, this would be a great advertisement for Super Soaker.
Left
guns.
my mark.
We should reboot the Super Soaker.
I marked
guns.
my territory
You literally did. Just go around spraying your pee on everyone.
like a little poodle. I don't know.
Oh my god, that's pretty good though. It's pretty funny. I mean, that definitely takes the balls, the guts to do that. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you're a little edgy. You're a little edgy. We're
little
getting to
edgy.
know you a little bit better now.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely a little like darkness side to you. Don't fuck with you kind of side. You know.
Oh yeah. But only within reason.
That's
only
good
within
though. That's good to
reason.
have a woman stand-up comic that has an edge to her, and you don't want to fuck with her. She's funny, and you don't want to fuck with her. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. 17. This happened when you were 17. So this was like in high school.
Yeah.
All right.
Senior year.
Senior year in high
Senior
school.
year.
All right. That sounds good. Senior year pranks, all that kind of shit. So, did you go to college?
I did go to I went to University of
yeah,
Alabama.
University of Alabama. Right. That's right. All right. So you go to University of Alabama. Is that is how far away from that is from where you grew up? That college.
About an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half. So do you commute or do you live on campus?
I lived on campus.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like it's not like an LA hour and a half, which is West Hollywood
Right.
to Santa Monica. It's
Right.
like, 90 miles.
It's far. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all right. So you're living on your own now
Yeah.
in the dorms.
Mhm.
How did you like college? Did you like what'd you study?
Loved it. I studied English literature.
English literature.
Yep.
And did you have hopes to become like a teacher?
I wanted to become a professor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was even getting my MFA for a minute, and I
Oh,
stopped
alright.
doing that when I met my
Right.
now ex-husband.
So you met your ex-husband in college?
and when I was in grad school.
In grad
Yeah.
school. Okay. All right. Got it. And then the rest is history.
The rest is
Yeah,
history.
Yeah. All right. So in college, do you have any asshole moments that you had in college? Like, did you
Gosh.
date a lot in college? Were you single for the most part? I'm always interested in people's college like romance experiences, like because there's either the people like that are in a relationship like in college throughout it, or they date around.
I dated a lot. I mean, there were certainly a few pivotal, relationships with guys
Mhm.
that were deeper than
Right.
others. But for the most part, I was I don't have like a college sweetheart per
Right.
se.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one guy from college that he creeps up, because he's divorced now.
Oh, he's divorced. Now he's
Yeah.
coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I saw him when I was back in Alabama.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to Jeffrey. Love you. Oh,
Yeah,
he's
it's
going to love I
it's
said
interesting.
that.
It's interesting, because I remember when I was in college, I had a girlfriend freshman and most of sophomore year,
Mhm.
and then she wanted to get married and have kids and all this, and I was like, this was like my first real girlfriend, fella, and I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, this is like I don't see myself like living in Pittsburgh where I was going to
gosh.
college, and I was like, I don't know, like I don't think this,
Yeah.
so like I ended it, and then like the rest of the college was like dating around and having fun.
I wasn't really like that. I would say that there was a gap year between kind of college and when I started going to UAB for English that I was still friends with this one guy from University of Alabama. And he, I guess, liked me, but I didn't know it.
Right.
Which was very obvious at the time. When I look back, I'm like, yeah, this dude was like crazy about you.
That's what happens with girls.
Yeah, I mean, I was
I think
23
he
years
likes
old.
you.
I
No,
don't
he's
know.
mean to me. No,
Yeah.
that means he likes you.
Right. Well, he would like invite me like on these really nice weekends
Right.
with, all of his friends and stuff. And, we'd stay at like his parents' house and I'd have like my own room. Like he was a really great gentleman. And
Right.
there was this one that was like a big fancy golf tournament in Alabama with all like these preppy Alabama Southern people.
Right.
Which they do exist. It's
They
not
did
just
exist,
it's not
yeah.
just a bunch of, Capitol Rider looking people, okay?
Right.
But it's really not. But I went to this thing with him and I ended up meeting a guy there and kind of that was one of his friends that he grew up with, and I kind of like ditched him for the other guy.
You
or
ditched
I
the friend.
did.
You ditched the friend
Yeah,
for the guy that.
yeah,
Oh wow. all
Yeah,
right.
it was crazy, and there were a lot of interesting components that came with that. But that guy was going to law school like in a few months in New Orleans, and because he was so crazy about me, we started dating, full-fledged relationship, like met each other's families. He was talking after 90 days, let's move in together, let's
Wow.
do this, that,
Yeah.
and the other.
And that was too fast. Was that too fast?
I mean, yeah, it was too fast. I mean, I
Yeah.
was 23 years old. No,
Yeah.
honestly, no 23-year-old should be living together, okay?
I think that happens a lot with like relationships. It's either like
Yeah.
you end up like getting in one early, like in your early 20s in college or whatever, and you either stick with that person and you move in, you get married, you have a kid
Yeah.
or whatever, and like
And then divorced.
and then yes, and then divorced, or the rest is history. You just make it work and stay there or whatever. But yeah, I feel like for the most part, it's like it's either that or you jump out and then you move to LA or New York.
This guy was so crazy about me that he was going, like I said, to law school. I can't remember if it was Loyola or Tulane in New Orleans. And then he decided to transfer to a law school in Alabama last minute that he'd also been accepted to so we could be together. And then a week later, I broke up with him.
Wow. All right. Well,
That's pretty.
there you go. There's Mimi Landru. Mimi Landru's college romance.
And it's funny because, now I think like, like now with dating, I was like, I'm nice, I'm cool, to these guys, like I'm, seeing whatever at random times, like how come, nothing's working out.
You mean currently here?
Currently, and then I
well,
think
it's LA. LA is tough, man.
But then I think, telling you,
LA is a tough lady to date, and I'll tell you that.
This is the best country you're gonna get ghosted by a 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would look back and I think, how come, I think I'm like this nice person. I'm like, oh, wait a second. What? Wow. Okay. No, I'm not. I've done some real gnarly things. But I feel that was so long ago,
Right. Well, that's the
I've
thing.
grown since then.
Well, it's like, especially when you're in your 20s or, in your 30s, it's like, I feel like we become less of an asshole as we age.
Well,
hopefully.
One thing I'm very just forward in doing, and just with dating, and, even back then, like if I don't like you, I don't like you, and I tell you. I tell you, yes.
That's
like,
good.
God, people don't do that anymore. Oh, I'm
They
scared.
don't.
It's so cowardly.
They don't for the most part here, but like I would say, like if you're East Coast or like I would say like New York, New Jersey, East Coast people, Southern, East Coast mix. Like I definitely think like everyone's pretty honest as far as I like you, I don't like you. This is what's wrong. You need to do this. That's not cool. Whatever.
Or not even. I actually caught myself this summer ghosting a guy that I'd gone out on one date with, and he was perfectly nice. He was very attractive, but I just wasn't feeling it. And for about 2-3 weeks, I just wasn't responding to his text messages. And I thought, this is horrible. Like, why am I doing this? This guy just done nothing wrong to me. He's not a creep. And finally, I wrote him like a nice paragraph. And I just said, hey, this isn't for me. You're very handsome. You're a nice person, but I don't see myself with you romantically. Love to just be friends in whatever capacity that may be. And actually a few weeks, he enjoys going to comedy shows. I met him at one. He's not a comedian himself. He's an actor. But I was doing a show a few weeks ago, and I was telling a joke about how I recently got ghosted by a guy who wears a T-shirt during sex. And
Is that the same guy that wears the T-shirt in the pool? Is that the same kind of thing?
Probably about the same type, But we never went to the sex part because I'm pretty sure he has ED. But at any rate, I'm gonna get blocked after this.
Well, if he's listening, yeah.
Who cares? He probably won't listen.
But
I saw that guy was in the audience when I was telling that joke. I had no idea he was with his friend, and I'm like telling this joke about getting ghosted. And
yeah, see, that's the danger with dating a comedian that you have to. Really...
Oh no, neither one of these people were comedians.
No.
He's just a supporter.
But yeah, it's like people are scared to date comics sometimes.
Oh, I know.
Because they're gonna be like, I'm gonna end up in your bit or your story.
Well, I'll never say your name.
Yeah, exactly. You change the name, whatever. You stretch the truth a little bit,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But it's I would say that's a good point to bring up the ghosting thing in LA because I'm new to dating again in LA. I'm almost divorced a year now or whatever, and I don't know what to do really. So I'm always the apps, all this shit.
Just be like, I don't like you, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like so if you go out with someone, if you have a drink with someone once and then you don't really, whatever. You don't reach back out to them or whatever. Is that ghosting? Is that considered ghosting? If you go out with them once and then you just never contact each other again?
So
yeah,
I think so. Yeah, any kind of human interaction you have where you just, I would say you need to leave it at.
You need to say
and
hey,
don't lie.
Hey, you're cool, but I don't know if this is gonna work or whatever.
Yeah. Just we want different things, or
if you're obviously spending, if you go out with someone 10 times, and it's
God. That's happened to me.
Then you need an explanation, I would say, right?
You know what I would do? You know what I try to do is you express the reason, hey, I don't want to see you anymore, whatever. But then you always hit them with a compliment so they feel better.
That's right.
You got to soften the blow a little bit,
A little
and the compliment needs to have some truth. It needs to be genuine. Exactly. It doesn't need to be. Something out of left field.
It'll make their day. They'll
be like, okay, what a nice person. This is such a refreshing change. And they're going to think of you fondly. They're going to come to your comedy show and they're going to hear you talk about you being ghosted. And they're going to be like, ha, like that guy was.
This guy, exactly.
But it's crazy because, in dating and stuff, or just out and about, I'll meet and start talking to a guy. And it's incredible the egos on these people because maybe I'll have probably the most boring interaction 4 to 5 sentence in-person conversation with somebody I just met. And the 6th thing they say will be the question, are you going to put me in your comedy show? You're literally the most uninteresting person I've ever talked to in my entire life. And you think I'm going to put you in my comedy bit? Get real.
Or they're tell me a joke. Or tell me a joke. I don't have jokes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's what's a story? Well, I don't want to hear it because I really don't like hearing women talk. You know what I mean? That's really what they're thinking.
One of my friends was you should do. He's like you should do a blind date, but just have them come on your podcast and just do. I was like,
you know what?
I was like, oh, that'd be interesting. I was like, I don't know who would do that, but
you know what? The funniest thing happened that reminds me. I did a brief stint on Bumble a few weeks ago, and I ended up matching with this very attractive, Nordic Swedish Eric Northman. If you watch True Blood, and he was giving all of that. So I was like, hell yeah, and I let him know the bar I worked at because I kind of did a little bit of research on him. Okay, is this person normal? Yeah. So he was like, okay, I'll come in. One of my best friends of 17 years, we went to college together. He lives in Marina Del Rey. Right when this Swedish Bumble man was telling me he's coming in, my best friend Courtney, he text messages me and says, hey, I'm coming into the bar. So I was like, this is gonna be hilarious. This random Bumble guy and my best friend. They're just gonna sit at the bar together and talk to me.
Did you when she was there? Were you like, oh, this is the guy from Bumble?
No, it's a guy. Make it even better. It's a guy who's very attractive, a former D1 athlete. So I'm like, okay. This is gonna be hilarious. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah. So they ended up sitting together at the bar, and I was going back and forth, and then my other friend, who's a male comedian, they ended up meeting up with him because Courtney knew this guy. they all go to a party together, and then I'm just still working.
You're still working, yeah.
So, like,
oh, glad I made everyone's night set up for them.
glad I
yeah.
set up this bromance.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, and my bar back, he says to me, it would be funny if you just do that now with all your dates.
Right,
like, just
right.
make them come in here.
Just made them come in. Yeah.
And then when it's time to go, they'll be like, so we're going back to your place. It's 3 a.m. I'll be like, nope, see you later,
No.
bitch.
It's like, I gotta go. Yeah.
Thanks for the fat tip. Bye.
Oh my God.
That would be a new asshole
That
story,
would be a new asshole
actually.
story, yeah.
I may have to
You're gonna
fire
try
it up again.
Try it out, then come back and report.
Yeah.
See what happens. Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like you think about that. It's like you can get people can show up to your shows like through. You can even get people to go probably through like Tinder or Bumble. It's like, come to my show if you want.
Yeah. Oh God.
But
Imagine
that could
be like
be a nightmare though.
That
right?
no, that would be fun.
If you invited like
be
5 different
so
Tinder
funny.
dates or people from Bumble or whatever to like a show, because sometimes you got to get people there. To
Yeah,
do
you
shows,
do, especially when you're starting out. They're
Exactly.
they're called what? Bringers.
Bringers.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be something I could do.
You might want to use that for your networking, but then you got to explain to them like, oh, this is I mean, I guarantee they will come to the show.
Oh yeah.
But like, you got to be like, oh, it's not a date. It's just like, come meet me. Let's have a drink. You can see my show. Come and meet me. And then we'll see. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, we'll stay in touch.
But then there's 6 of them. But like,
There's 6 of them.
Wow.
And they all have to fight for you.
Yeah. Actually, I've already thought about this. I've already thought about doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. Why not? Try it out. See what happens.
What app would be better for that? Tinder, Hinge, or Bumble?
I think Tinder. Well,
Tinder?
I don't know. I think you know what? I'm trying Bumble now, and I think it sucks.
So that's where the women talk to you first.
I know.
Ugh, hate.
Well, I'm not getting any. Like I think I got one connection on Bumble. Like,
Really, we
I'm
gotta
just
check
like,
out your profile and see what you're doing wrong.
I
We
don't
need to
know.
critique it.
I think Hinge might be better, but like Tinder, I think Tinder is more like spontaneous things. So like,
Well, Tinder's like for the grinder for straights.
right. So I think like
Meet me in 5 minutes.
I think
glory hole.
I think you might be able to get people to go to the show off Tinder or Bumble. I think.
Oh, I was thinking more of like sex stuff for
was it?
Tinder.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
because Tinder's more of the.
Well, yeah, like come for the comedy show, maybe stay for the sex.
Stay for the gangbang. Except
Yeah,
I have the
exactly.
strap on. I'm just kidding.
Hinge, I think is
Except it's me.
Hinge is too serious. Like people are gonna want to be like, well, let me go out with you 3 times, then I'll come to your show.
Oh, I don't know. Hinge is not.
Well, it's
I've had
different. It's
some-
different for women.
Yeah, it is different for women.
For guys, it's
you
like
must you must be a gentleman on Hinge, and I commend you and applaud you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to be. I don't know. I'm not on it that often, but whatever. Who knows? All these apps are just they're crazy.
It's too much.
Yeah,
Just meet people at a bar or at church.
Well,
like
that's
the
not
old
that's not
days.
good. Well, church maybe. A bar is not good either though, because then like sometimes people are just drunk, and then you meet the people that are like, let's go home, and it's like I don't know. 10 years ago, yes, but I don't know about
10
now.
years ago. I don't know. I remember when my marriage ended, I went to a bar in LA. It was actually the first bar I ever went to as a single woman. Was Rockin' Riley's.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so excited about going in there. And I started talking to this guy, and we were talking, and he says to me, so, go back to my place? And I was like, I just got in town. Can we like hang out a little bit? He was like, no. And he just like walks off, and I'm like, oh no, is this what day is going to be like in my 30s? Single and divorced? I'm terrified.
That is true. I mean,
that is what it has been like.
Well, I mean, look, I'll commend the guy for being like, no, I'm not wasting my time.
Hey,
Like,
at least he was
it's
like exactly.
That might work for like some people, because it's like if you're looking to go just hook up or whatever, and you want to find someone that's like, yeah, I'm down, like let's
Yeah.
have one drink or 2 and then go hook up.
Yeah.
Like if they put it out there and they're like, yeah, no, I don't want to waste any more time like hanging out at the bar, like
Yeah.
I don't know. At least he's being honest.
Yeah, that was my. And then I remember as soon as I touched down at LAX, this was December 2015. I fired up Tinder. I was like, "What's this Tinder like?" Because I hadn't
Yeah.
been on dating apps, and I was married pretty much my entire length of my 20s.
I met my wife on Tinder, like back when it was new.
Yeah, but I was just like, "Why is everybody on Tinder so ugly?" This was like, but yeah, no, but not when you were on Tinder. No, that's not what I meant.
It was new. No, it was like I met my wife on Tinder in 2004 2014.
Okay, yeah, that was a while ago.
It was new,
Yeah.
and I didn't really trust it. Like I was on like Match.com or shit like that before the apps really. But I didn't trust it, so I was like, I don't know about this, But then it took us a year to meet in person actually. So it was like,
Was there a lot of like talking back and forth?
well, like she didn't live here, and she lived in
okay.
like Texas, and then she lived in New York, and I was here, and she came back and forth and that kind of thing. So it was like it took us like a year to meet. But yeah, it was like when the apps were new. Now Tinder's like oversaturated. I feel like now it's like there's like fake people, there's prostitutes, there's all kinds of stuff. It's
Right.
like,
Right.
people are like, send me money, and I'm like, what?
It's some 12-year-old in Nigeria. He's
exactly.
like,
And I don't want to get arrested.
no, he's like, he's conning you, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the LA dating world is crazy. But it's an adventure. That's definitely it. All right. So, any other asshole stories? Something like anything current in like your current adult life that's happened?
Oh
No?
man, no. I mean, yeah, I could think. I got one for you.
Yeah. All right. You got one more?
Yeah, it's my last breakup story.
All right. Let's hear it.
My last breakup story. So, I left New York. I was in a relationship when I was in New York, and I was on the way out. We'd already broken up, and I had my car was already shipped here. My flight. I'd already quit my job I had, and I came home. I'd had lunch that day with my ex's aunt.
Okay.
And he was really on edge because he knew that his aunt may or may not spill the tea. He was a little bit of a philanderer.
Gotcha.
In a way. And she really loved me and I loved her. She didn't. But when I came back to the apartment, he was just wasted, slurring his words, and he had a really important business meeting to go to that night that he needed a date for. And I wasn't going to go with him to it, but I was like, he was like, please, please, please go to this with me. But am I okay to go? Am I fine to go? And I'm like, oh yeah, you're totally fine to go.
All right.
You're totally not going to make an ass out of yourself. I'm like, yeah, you're great.
Well, knowing that
You're great. Well, knowing that he was a
he should
mess.
not be even
Oh,
leaving.
he just needed to go to bed. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's get ready and go. I'm like texting, someone in my family, and she's like, I can't believe you're going to go to that with him. And I said, girl, watch. Just watch. Let's see what happens. And he had really put me through the ringer, emotionally that entire month, which, led just to very, sudden move here to LA. And I'm so happy I'm here.
Good.
But so we're getting ready and he is just plastered and he dipped too, like skull and everything. He's a former military guy and that's like what they do.
Dip.
They dip and they smoke cigarettes. They don't vape, or maybe they do vape. Now I hate vaping, by the way. I have a whole thing on that. Ugh, vaping.
I think vaping might be better than dipping, though.
Oh no, but the way it's just so disgusting how like the young people, they just
people,
cling to their like little security blankets,
they're like little pacifiers.
Yeah, like I'm doing my butt plug in my mouth, my little vape. Anyway, so I can go out about that all day. So get him ready, and I'm just like, I insist, I need to drive again. He is just plastered, and so. He's like, do I look okay? Do I look okay? Doug, he's got dip just drooling from his mouth. The corners, both corners just looking like a hole. He looked like Trailer Park Chris Cuomo. But anyways, that's how I describe him. Shout out for listening, baby. But so he meets the head guy. He's like, do I look okay? I'm about to go meet this dude, I'm like, oh, babe, you look fine. I'm so happy, even though with everything that's happening, that I'm here to support you,
Now, is it all over his clothes?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
his face
He's wearing a white dress shirt.
Oh, white dress. Oh,
white dress shirt.
Perfect.
And just, and he's just all, and he just like looks at him funny. And he goes, oh, and then the guy says, Mel, what's your name? I said, Mimi Landru, lovely to meet you. And I just have this big shit-eating grin on my face, just like, oh, I'm loving every minute of this. And one of his colleagues texts him the next day. I get a message from him. He goes, hey, was I okay last night? Like, because I got like some weird text messages today from some of my colleagues, that I was a little bit off. I'm like, oh, no, babe, you were fine.
Right.
Everything was fine.
Oh my God. So he didn't realize how bad he was.
No, because he is delusional. If he
he
was
have
a
a
comedian,
drinking
he wouldn't know if
problem?
he bombed.
Did he have
He's got an everything problem.
Yeah. Just
Yeah. But I mean,
So he
was
went
I
and-
the asshole?
So he went and embarrassed himself.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, you were kind of like over it at this point, right?
I had to be over it.
So it was kind of like your farewell of like,
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah, and
luck.
he actually, I can't remember what he said. He said something to me. He called me sinister. Yeah.
Wow.
Plus, I said thank you.
Yeah. All right. You took it as a compliment. There you go. See, look, always thinking positively. See, there you go. That's part of it. That'll help you in your stand up when someone's rude to you in the audience and you take it as a compliment and you do your own thing and my God, my dog is freaking out. Stop it.
Yeah, my asshole stories. No, I try to be a good friend, a good family member, good daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
So I mean, I think everybody can be an asshole, but sometimes there's a good reason to be.
Absolutely, and that's pretty much the thing of the show. It's just everyone has been one. We can all relate, so we just gotta laugh about it and have fun with it. And that's pretty much.
And I do laugh about it.
That's good.
From the pooping to the pee to the skull, baby.
You really have to. You really have to laugh about it because if you don't laugh about yourself, especially as a stand-up comic, if you don't laugh at yourself, then you're doomed. I think in the world of stand-up and just comedy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, stand-up for me, it's some people are like, oh, childhood trauma, that goes into stand-up, and I feel some of that, but the reason I'm doing stand-up is because there's no greater joy for me than like making another person laugh.
Right.
I think that it's awesome to be able to do that and to make somebody feel better.
Absolutely. You've gotten a taste of that drug, that adrenaline on stage,
Yeah.
and you know what it's like when you do make a crowd laugh.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else like it.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about the attention or what it is, because sometimes attention is bad attention.
Absolutely.
It's just really just about the other person.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you got your head on your shoulders with the comedy thing. You're starting out. You're young at it, which is great. You got the energy. You got the the jokes. You're working on them and stuff like that. You got your own mic over in Glendale. So that's
once a month.
It's once a month.
Yes.
It's every once a month. Every what is today? Today is Wednesday.
Yes.
So what is it? The first Wednesday of the month?
First or the last, we kind of got a little bit sidetracked because of Halloween events.
Right. All right. So comics should check that out if they want to meet Mimi. And, so when we wrap up this show, pretty much what I do is I have guests just say their name, and then they say that they are a basshole. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Do I need to look at the camera?
You can look at the camera if you want.
I'm Mimi Landru, and I'm a basshole.
There you go, folks. Mimi Landru. She's a basshole, but she
Thank
came
you.
on the show today, and she redeemed herself.
Thank you for
So
having me.
She can now go in peace. Mimi, thanks so much for being on the
course, thank
show.
you.
Do you want to nominate anyone to be on the show? Sometimes I ask guests if they know someone that they think is worthy enough to come on.
I have two people.
Yeah.
Dan Bostian and Liz Zagoni.
Okay, I know Dan. Yeah. He should definitely be on the show.
Definitely.
I love Dan. Yeah. All right, cool, awesome. Well, I'll reach out to them. We'll get them
Please
on
do.
here at some point. You could check out Mimi. Mimi's Instagram is at Mimi Landru. You can check her out at her open mic at the Gold Rail Bar in Glendale. And if you're in Alabama, maybe she'll greet you there with a peach at some point. I don't know.
Yeehaw, roll tide.
All right. Well, Mimi, thanks for coming on. Guys, remember to follow the podcast on Instagram at Basshole Podcast. Subscribe to the Spotify. Download it. Just download the damn podcast and review it. That's important. Leave a review. And guys, remember, don't be a basshole. But if you are, laugh about it. We'll see you next time. All right. Ciao.
You've been listening to I'm a Basshole with Doug Bass. Follow us on Instagram at Basshole Show. Think you deserve to be on the show? Email us at contact@bassholeshow.com and visit our website at www.bassholeshow.com. and get the latest information. Subscribe on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast fix. And don't miss the full videos on YouTube. Remember, don't be a basshole, but if you are, laugh about it. We'll see you next time.